Hey guys, Gareth here, FCP Euro. Welcome back to another DIY video. Today, we're changing oil on a 2017 X5 xDrive 35i that has the N55 engine. So technically this video will apply to any vehicle with an N55 engine, but some of the steps we're doing today apply specifically to the N55 in the F15 X5. Using Leischlau 5W40, which is the Long Life 1 certified engine oil. That's perfectly fine for the N55. Any Long Life 1 or Long Life 1 FE oil is going to work. So 530, 030, 540 or 040 is going to be perfectly fine for an oil weight, as long as it meets those certifications. Using a MAN OE filter, we'll also be installing a magnetic drain plug because why not? I mean, a lot of people do it. I'm just doing it on this one today. And also be using this MOS2 anti-friction additive as well. And also, really good thing to mention, it is worthwhile doing an engine flush from time to time. This engine flush from Liqui-Moly is not your typical heavy-duty engine flush. It's not going to cause any kind of contaminants inside the engine to break loose and potentially clog something. The additive in this is the exact same additive and detergents that would be inside this engine oil, so it's not going to cause any problems. If you do this on a regular basis, you will keep the inside of the engine very clean. So with that said, let's talk about some of the tools we're going to need to do this job. Some of the tools we're going to need to do an oil change: 17mm socket for the drain plug, a ratchet, a torque wrench that can do 25 Newton meters. Highly recommend having the appropriate oil filter cap wrench. In this case, I'm using the factory BMW tool. That's what I own. And for that, you need a 27mm socket, but there's other variants of this tool out there that can use like a 3/8 drive ratchet or something like that. So this will help remove that cap. Don't use channel locks or strap wrench or anything like that to try to do that. Use the correct tool because you could damage that cap. And obviously you'll need some way to drain the oil, so in this case we have a oil catch. Gloves are really nice. Keep your hands clean. But other than that, super simple. Don't really need too much to do this, and we'll go ahead and get right into it. First, I'm going to go ahead and loosen our oil filter cap here. Come on, there we go. Just a little finicky to get on there. I'm not removing it, I'm only loosening it. I want to make that very important distinction. Reason for that is when I crack the drain plug below, I want air to get in there to help drain the housing a little bit. And to go along with that, also going to loosen the cap here. That should help the oil drain a little bit quicker from underneath. So now we've done that up here, I'm gonna go ahead underneath, crack the drain plug, and let the oil drain. All right, fortunately on this car, there's a nice access hole here in this reinforcement plate to get to the drain plug. It's gonna be a 17mm 6-point, not to be confused with other possible plugs that you might see, i.e. front differential or, I don't know, the transmission drain plug. You definitely don't wanna do that if you're not prepared for it. So it's gonna be right here under the reinforcement plate. Shouldn't be too tight if it was torqued properly before. Should come loose pretty easily. Yeah, we're basically now at a drop, so oil has drained out as completely as possible. We're gonna go ahead and install our drain plug with a new crush washer. The crush washer is included with the oil filter kit. And again, installing this magnetic drain plug. And what I do with these is I like to get them started by hand. Make sure that the threads are engaged before you use any kind of tool. And you'll also want to make sure that the crush washer came off. It isn't stuck to the oil pan, only because sometimes that'll happen, and if you double gasket the drain plug, that can cause a leak. Some people like to do drain plugs by feel. I'll use a torque wrench on this. 25 Newton meters and 17mm. All right, so next up we're gonna remove the oil filter. Want to be careful while you're pulling this up because there is going to be residual oil inside this housing. So you want to give it the opportunity to drain back into the engine and not make a mess in the engine bay. And again, there's going to always be residual oil inside the housing. That is going to drain back into the engine. So by the time you come back with the filter installed in the cap, most of that is going to be gone. And now we have a couple O-rings that we need to replace. It's really critical that this gets done. So we have this little green O-ring at the end of this like oil filter support or stand, whatever you'd like to call it. This O-ring seals the drain back in the oil filter housing. So there's actually a hole in the oil filter housing. It's a direct path back to the bottom of the engine. Most common mistake, sometimes this stand will be broken, not reinstalled. If that happens, you're running the risk of the engine not producing oil pressure or adequate oil pressure. Plenty of these engines have been killed by either breaking the stand, removing it, not replacing the O-ring. It makes absolutely no sense to do any of those. Proper oil filter kits come with the O-ring because it is a service item. And then you have the actual sealing O-ring for the cap itself to the housing. So now we're just going to thread, or not thread, we're going to push the new O-ring on. It'll just kind of roll into position. It's a round O-ring, so you don't have to worry about it being distorted or anything. There is a nice little ring land for it on the cap. It doesn't sit flush to the bottom of the cap. It'll actually just fall into position. Another common mistake is letting this go all the way down, and at that point you risk damaging the O-ring, which could cause a leak. Next, we're going to go ahead and install the smaller O-ring into position. You just kind of push it in place. This could be a little finicky from time to time, but it will roll into place like so. Both those O-rings should be lubricated with oil. And last, we'll take our oil filter, push it into place. You'll feel it bottom out. And there you go. Oil filter is replaced. We now reinstall in the engine. So that little hole in the center is the drain back directly to the oil pan. So it goes through the block, goes to the oil filter housing, right down to the bottom. That O-ring and this little piece of the oil filter support blocks that hole. Residual oil has drained back. You do see this excess around here. That's perfectly fine. If all of this had drained back, chances are the check valve in the oil filter housing itself is broken. There's always going to be a little bit left over, but most of the residual, which normally would come up to where the threads are, that drains back to the oil pan via that drain hole right there. So very important that the oil filter stand is left installed. Very important that that O-ring is replaced. Very important that if anything happened to this stand, please replace the entire cap. It's not available separately. So at this point, we'll just thread the cap back on. I'm also cleaning up a little bit of residual mess. There was just a little bit of oil left in the cap and it kind of dripped in a couple places. That was my mistake. And I'm just hand threading the cap back on. It threads on very easy. If you feel any kind of binding or it stops threading, you've got a problem. You can literally bottom this out with your hands. And just for the hell of it, I'm gonna see if I can install the cap with my hands to the 25 Newton meter recommended torque spec. Basically, the catch on these is when they bottom out, I mean, it's basically tight. You can't really get it any tighter than that. I'm bottoming that out with my hands, 25 Newton meters, again, torque spec. Pretty close, not too bad. But the point of here is it's the O-ring that provides the seal. Don't over tighten it, you don't need to. The O-ring and that cap is gonna do all the sealing. It just needs to be bottomed out, that's it. And sometimes these cap wrenches can be a little bit stubborn, so just give it a tap. That'll break it free from the cap. Now we need to refill the engine. Really important that you do this and don't forget it, because you'll never forget to do it again if you do. For the last liter, only gonna pour in half a liter, but I'm gonna mix that half liter with MOS2. What I've been doing with the N55, these engines are known to have potential lubrication problems, whether it be from a weak oil pump or another problem. Doing everything you can with these engines specifically to prevent unnecessary wear is worth the investment. So when I first got this car, I did a Ceratec treatment, which was at 50,000 miles. Every oil change after I used MOS2 was kind of a booster. So basically, 55,000 miles was the next oil change, did the MOS2. 60,000 miles was the next oil change, did the MOS2. Now it's 65,000, using MOS2 again. When I get to 75,000, I'll do the Ceratec treatment again. So it's basically 4 treatments of MOS2, then Ceratec, which is for 25,000 miles, and repeat the process. Another problem with these is eccentric shaft wear, which is for the Valvetronic system. Again, anything that you can do to provide an extra layer of lubrication on top of the oil, it's not going to hurt anything. So it's a small investment on top of the oil change you're already doing. If you're doing it yourself, you're already saving the money. So taking it the extra step and basically providing extra layer of protection, it's going to provide extra longevity to the engine. I have 1 fresh liter of oil here that's not being used. Putting this off to the side for now. I have this carrying case that I put in the trunk of the car just for top offs. I have a ½ liter from my previous oil change. I'm going to take this can of MOS2 and we're going to go ahead and mix it up. This oil is going to look bizarre going in. Honestly, it looks more like dirty oil, but that's just the MOS2. We've got a lot of questions about how to properly mix this. 1 can is good for 5 liters. I'm putting 6.5 in. I don't think it's worth opening the extra can, so it's fine. But you're not subtracting the oil that needs to go in the engine to add this. You're putting in the same amount of oil that you would to do the oil change. You're just adding this on top. The mineral oil will burn off. The MOS2 will mix with the rest of the oil. The MOS2 will be on the surfaces inside the engine, so you don't really need to worry about that. It's going to be perfectly fine as is. I'm going to give it a shake, mix it up nice, and then you're going to see what this looks like going in. It's bizarre, but like I said, it's worth the extra step. It looks wrong, the color of this, but that's moly disulfide, which is what MOS2 is. And we'll go ahead and let that drain into the engine. You might need to do a little bit of a top off, maybe, you know, 1/10 or 2/10 of a liter to get it to the max fill capacity, but 6.5 liters is usually what this engine is going to take. So now at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and start the engine. Leaving the hood open so I can check for leaks. I'm going to look under the car, make sure there's no leaks. And then after that, I'll show you how to do the service light reset as well as the forced oil level reading. I know what you're thinking. This looks pretty bad because these are preset for 10,000 mile oil change intervals and it says I have 800 miles left. I must confess the last oil change I did, which was about 4,200 miles ago, I did not reset the service. So yeah, I did get contacted by the dealer though, saying that I was almost due for an oil change, and it was they were running a $99.95 special, but you know, I'm not doing it because you can do it yourself. All right, so engine oil, I'm going to tell it to measure the engine oil level. Now it said it's only possible after approximately 30 minutes, but you can do a forced measurement. So it's going to go ahead and do its thing. The engine's going to rev up. You're going to hear it. Basically, it's just cycling the oil through the pump. And this is the one thing that I really don't understand about modern BMWs. I don't know why they don't have dipsticks. This would be a lot easier. But this is what it is. Fortunately, on the F-chassis cars, you could do this force reading as long as you're on level ground, and you can at least get an idea whether you need to add any or you're good to go. So like I said, we put 6.5 liters in. It should basically be full, but as long as you're between the minimum and the maximum, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. Good to go. We're actually at the max line, so like I said, 6.5 liters is going to get you there almost every single time. And as long as between your max and min, just like any oil change, think of this as a virtual dipstick, good to go. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and turn the car back on in accessory mode. Not started. And we're going to go ahead and hold down the button on the instrument cluster. And now we're going to get this prompt for engine oil reset possible. And, you know, we have all these other things that we can reset, but we're going to focus on the engine oil. So I'm going to hold down that same button. It's going to ask me to reset. I'm going to hold that button down again. And now it's resetting our service indicator for the oil change. And there we go. 10,000 miles or by August 2022, reset successful. And if we look here in our screen and we look at vehicle status, that information is now there as well. So we went ahead and reset our service indicator. We went ahead and made sure that our oil level is good. And oil change is now complete. So as you can see, changing the oil on your F15 X5 is pretty straightforward. Of course, this is only going to apply if you have an N55 X5, but changing oil in any of the other X5s is going to be very similar. And if you have an N55 powered vehicle, you can follow these processes as well. And at least in regards to resetting the service indicator and everything else, that's going to be kind of F chassis specific. But overall, you can see it's very simple. Doing this yourself, pretty therapeutic as well. Also makes you feel good at the end because you are taking care of the car yourself and you know that you did a good job. You wouldn't think that oil changes would be something that could be drastically screwed up, that can cause engine damage, but it happens all the time. So following these steps, you'll be successful and you won't run into any problems. And again, maintaining your own vehicle, you feel good about it at the end of the day. So with that said, hope you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave in the comment box below. If you liked this video, hit that like button and hit subscribe. We have plenty more videos on the way. And as always, we'll see you for the next one. Thanks for watching.